You're so goofy.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Unbroken Stories, the journey to recovery. I'm your host, Nico.
Yep.
Yes, I am in the building. I am with, as usual, accompanied by the magnificent, my right hand, Miss Christy.
Hey fam, what's up?
Southern Christy. All right. So we're going to jump right into it.
Yeah.
Today's topic, we're going to get into something that quietly destroys people in recovery if it's left unchecked.
Yeah.
So we're going to deal with guilt and shame. Yeah. A lot of us come in carrying both of those.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I definitely do.
Yeah.
We feel guilty for what we've done and ashamed of who we believe we are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So as they say, guilt says I made a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and shame says I am the mistake.
Yeah.
So, and if we don't learn how to release that, it will keep us stuck, silent, and disconnected.
Facts.
But recovery gives us a way out, not by ignoring our past, but by facing it, owning it, and learning how to let it go.
That's right.
Face it, own it, let it go.
Yep.
Simple as that. Face, own, let go.
Let it go. Why did I just get frozen stuck in my
I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what goes on in that brain of yours.
Whoa, sometimes I don't either. We just roll with it.
But today we're talking about how to release guilt and shame so we can actually live free, not just clean.
Yes.
So let's get right into
Let's
it. But we're
do
going to
it.
start off with our
Pies.
the pies must be done.
Yes. You wanna lead it this week?
Sure. Physically,
Yeah. How you doing?
I feel good physically. I still got a little soreness in my back. I don't know what that's from. I think I sneezed or coughed too hard last week. And I pulled a muscle. That shit is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But I feel good physically.
Good.
I had a great morning.
Yeah.
I went fishing today with my brother from
Nice.
Jersey.
Very nice.
And we caught 7 nice largemouth bass.
Ooh.
So
You cooking dinner? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, we don't keep them.
I know.
We do it just for. He has a YouTube channel called
Okay.
Bass Fishing for Life.
Okay, nice.
So we
Nice.
we always on the channel
Hey.
talking smack and catching fish.
Nice.
So it was, I was in a good mood. Physically, I felt good. I was up early, got up and done that. Intellectually, outsmarting the fish.
Hey, that's always a plus.
I got to catch him.
Hey.
I don't like to just go out there and cast all day.
All right.
I'm gonna catch some fish.
That's right.
So that's always a challenge, fishing and operating the boat and
Yeah.
just getting the right bait on and
Yeah.
casting the right
Yep.
way.
Mhm.
All of that little stuff plays
Right.
a part. So and then again, intellectually, this whole setup, getting everything worked up, and y'all don't get to see the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Where the magic happens.
Yeah, and so it's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
On scene. Emotionally, I'm dialed in.
Good.
I talked to my son.
Yeah. How's he doing?
He's doing absolutely. He's crushing basic training.
How many more weeks does he have left now?
So 3 weeks.
Wow, really already?
Yeah, May
Dude,
14th.
that was quick.
May 14th he graduates.
That was so fast.
I know it's super fast, and, but
feel
it
like
felt like forever.
Yeah, right?
But he I talked to him today, and so it was awesome because he sounds super confident.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "Oh man, guess what I got on my?" This is what he said to me. He said, "Guess what I got on my, his basic training test, like AFT or something."
Uh-huh.
He's like, because he needed to run 2 miles under 19 minutes.
I remember you guys talking about this a few weeks ago.
And
yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, Dad, I did that shit in 17."
What?
He's
Hey.
like, I crushed it.
That's
I was
what's
like,
up.
that's what I'm talking about. I told you you could
We
do
should
it.
applaud that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's official. My son is graduating from the National Guard basic training on roughly about May 14th.
Dude, I know you're so proud.
What? And
Yeah.
then I got to go out there. I'm going to go to South Carolina. I'm going to pick him up after the graduation, and I get to drive him to Virginia.
I expect lots of pictures.
Yeah, we're going to be taking pictures.
Lots of
for
pictures.
Sure.
I want to see them.
Yeah,
I'm super happy
I'll
for
drop
you
him
guys.
off in Virginia, and I won't see him again for 4 more months.
Yeah.
So, But emotionally, I'm super proud. So I'm on an emotional high. Got to talk to him. He sounds great, and he sounds like he's looking forward to Virginia. Okay. So it makes the whole thing that much easier.
Yeah.
Spiritually, dialed in.
Yeah.
I'm dialed in. I got to talk to my homie. So he's great. I'm great. That makes me feel great. That makes me feel connected. I've always get the chance, to sit out there and just kind of connect. But when I talk and everything is going well, it just brings me like to that higher place. So I'm dialed in. I feel good. I feel great. Yes. Where are you at?
Wise. Physically, I'm good. Nothing major. Nothing crazy. Same stuff, different day. Emotionally, whoops, skirt. I forgot how to spell today.
Yeah, that's peas.
So there we go. Intellectually, I guess I just had a moment. But no, I got A's in both my classes. So
whoa,
yeah.
We applaud education.
Yes, we do.
2 A's. What classes?
It was my sustainability class, and then the perspectives of psychology.
What is
no, it was abnormal psychology.
What's sustainability?
So sustainability, it talks about like biological sustainability, environmental sustainability, social sustainability, just like how things impact like our everyday lives. And like I actually did my whole project on recovery, so it was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got an A on that. And then for my psych class for abnormal psychology, I did my final project. Remember I was talking about last week, I had to do the PowerPoint and everything like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did it on stimulant use disorder. Okay. So again, pain into purpose. Yes. I love it.
Abnormal psychology. That's right up your alley. You're abnormal.
That part, very much so. I own that. Hey, I tried being normal once it was like the worst 3 minutes of my life. But so emotionally, I am doing good. I've actually, been working my steps and everything and trying to release some of those emotional strongholds. And it's been eye-opening, just like trying to see, how things, you don't think they have a stronghold in you, but then once you really start breaking it down and you look at it, it's like, wow, I really do realize like how much sometimes like my anger, even though it's internally, it can come out externally. And just like the way that I react or how I think about things and the processes in which I go through. So that's actually been really, there's been a lot of growth there. Still working on it, haven't graduated to step 3 yet, but it's okay. Progress, not perfection, right?
That's right.
Right. Spiritually, it was just like, I was telling you before the show started.
Yes. She came in on a natural high.
I did, y'all. Like, it was crazy.
She's been bouncing off the wall since she got here. Now, I'm on a low because I'm tired physically from this morning's thing. I actually took a nap right here.
Did you?
She came in like wired and gone, 0 to 100. I'm like, oh my Lord, she got me amped up.
I've been like this since yesterday, like since it happened. It was just crazy. So like for the listeners out there, I was invited to a freedom conference at my local church, and it was one of those like spur of the moment, me being invited. And I went, and as I was on the way there, I was like super nervous. I was just like, oh my God, I don't know anybody. There's about like 200 people here, whoa. And I was trying to, I was kind of mentally talking myself out of it, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm going. Because obviously there's a reason why this was put in my path. And so I get there.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's right. Absolutely right. So I got there, and we started just talking about like different things. And, we were talking about like healing from abuse, sexual purity, and how emotional ties can create like a soul tie with you and stuff like that, and how you can carry on, and some things, like with my ex, just trying to release that, that stronghold that it had on me and dealing with that pain and just like the whole relationship not working and everything. So that was super, super relatable. And then, healing from abuse, whether it was physical, emotional, spiritual, sexual, or verbal. That hit home, but then imagine that we started talking about shame and how to release shame, and I was just like, God, is that you?
He's tapping you on your shoulder? Hey,
yeah.
I got something to say here.
Yeah, time to pay attention, my child. And then, we had gone through that, we broke for lunch, we came back, and then, they were talking about like living the abundant life, and what it means to like live free from all these strongholds and everything that you were releasing. And, they were saying that you have to make the choice every day on whether or not you're going to go back and live in the lies, that the enemy tries to plant inside your head, or if you are going to live in your truth And all of a sudden they were like, yeah, so we're going to do open baptisms today. And I had actually sat down on Thursday with a lady from the church and talked about, me getting baptized. And we had planned it for May 3rd at the church. And she's the one who invited me to this conference. And
she set you up?
Dude, she didn't even know.
Oh.
She had no idea they were doing open baptisms. Because like I was sitting there and, we stood to start worshiping. And like I was telling you earlier, it was just like all of a sudden these silent tears just started streaming down my face. And I just felt this pull from the core of my being, and I heard his voice and he was like, now, my daughter, this is why I brought you here. It's time for you to have, this freedom conference is your opportunity for you to get freedom. Freedom from everything that you've been holding on to. Freedom from all of the things that you didn't want to let go, but you're going to give them to me today. And, I just, nice. I couldn't not. So yeah, I
So you got baptized?
I got dunked in the water and came up awesomely refreshed.
Cleansed yourself.
Yes, I did, and that's why I've been on this goofy.
Good cleansing.
Yeah, I've been on this goofy goober high the whole time.
Since you got here.
It's bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
Nah, that's good. It's good. Happiness is.
You're gonna see my natural crackhead energy.
Oh, here she goes. So, all right, we're gonna jump right into it then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Guilt versus shame.
I'm so excited for this.
So, as we already said,
yeah,
guilt is the behavior.
Yeah.
You did something wrong. I did something wrong. Shame is how we identify that behavior.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with me.
Yep.
So, guilt can guide growth. Shame is what keeps us stuck.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to let you start us off. What's heavier for you, the guilt side or the shame side?
Honestly, I feel like the shame, because, shame it's toxic and it keeps us really stuck for me, it kept me stuck in my addiction. It kept me isolated. It kept me from growing. And it created this soundtrack in my mind. The soundtrack of I'm nothing but an addict. I'm stupid. I'm worthless. I'm never gonna amount to anything. I'm not gonna get through it. And it's the shame creates this cycle, and it's literally there's a cycle of shame. We have this need for comfort, and then it goes into this harmful behavior, which creates a temporary distraction, which increases the shame, and then it goes back to that need for comfort. So for me, with knowing how my addiction worked for me in my life, the shame was definitely heavier for me because it kept me in that vicious cycle. So what about for you?
So I think for me, it's more the guilt.
Yeah.
I think it's more the guilt. 'Cause I feel like I was always broke. I was always, I don't want to say broken. I was more I didn't know which direction I should go in. So I always felt guilty for the choices I made.
Okay.
What I did to my mom.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially that final one.
That final one was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
But I feel like the guilt is what fueled me to get clean. You know what I'm saying? So my guilt I was like, that was my bottom, what I did to my mom. Then I looked back at all the things I've ever done.
Right.
And I was like, man, it's something, you off. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Why do you do stuff like this? And it's I feel like negative attention is what I sought for.
Oh, same. That was so me as a child. My parents got divorced when I was 5, and then when my mom moved from Wisconsin to Vegas with both my brothers and my sister, and I was left behind. I was like, why am I not good enough? Nobody loves me. Hey, pay attention to me. I'm just gonna while out and be stupid, and negative attention was better than no attention. So yeah, I get that. I resemble that remark.
So I guess that's a part of shame when I say something's wrong with me because of the choices I make. But the guilt is the result of those choices. The choices that I made and what I did to the people.
Right.
Is the guilt that I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's more guilt or more shame. I do get embarrassed.
Right.
I'm embarrassed of what I've done. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, I don't think I'm completely broken. I think I'm fixable.
Obviously, we're here.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'm trying to go back to ease.
Right.
But I understand that shame grows in the dark. So
yes.
And recovery is what brings it back to the light.
Yep. Yeah.
So I still don't know if the guilt side is heavier or if the shame. I just feel like, well, I think it's the guilt because I still have active behaviors.
Right.
I still have active behaviors that I know I'll do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So I got
recognizing those character defects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got to keep them. I got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Now, what I like to know is,
okay,
where does it stem from?
Yeah.
Where does it all come from?
Yeah.
I know mine. I realize now is the trauma during childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not feeling accepted.
Yeah.
Not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
Always feeling different within my own skin.
Right.
Like I didn't belong in that skin.
Mm-hmm. That's that soundtrack.
Yep. And then on top of that, you put addiction on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think through addiction and all those character defects of self hating.
Yeah.
Led me to have bad relationships.
Yeah.
And that's where I think all of it stemmed from. Absent father, always feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
Never feeling good enough. Some self-esteem issues sprinkled on top of that.
Yeah.
I think those were all parts where it came from for me.
Yeah.
I guess it still led to, you know, I guess there's still that feeling I'm not good enough, you know?
And that's, you know, I mean, that comes with, you've got to look at it, you know, and I can say this, you know, for myself, you know, because there's still moments within me where I'm just like, I'm not worthy of this, or I'm not good enough to do this, you know what I mean? But that comes from literally a lifetime of having that soundtrack replay in our heads where we're telling ourselves we're not good enough. And it's so hard to get rid of that, you know, because it's literally you're having to unlearn patterns that you have instilled in yourself your whole life. And so it takes time.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When I was in rehab, they said I was technically I was supposed to be a senior in high school.
Okay.
But you know, I didn't have the grades to be I was not gonna graduate.
Yeah. Same.
So the counselor said, "Why don't you take the GED test?"
Same. Why are we twinning right now?
I was like, I'm not taking that test. You know, I already said it in my head. You ain't gonna pass that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then what am I do when I get a high school diploma? I'm saying, you can go to college. Oh, what the fuck, man? I'm not going to go to college.
Yeah.
So I've always stated that, don't do that. It's just setting. You're going to fail.
You stop yourself.
I sabotage my own success.
Yeah.
I've learned to get in my own way and say, don't do that. Motherfucker, that's for goody two shoes.
Right.
You know, getting a high school diploma, going to college. Yeah, nigga, that ain't you.
Right.
So what's with the irony of it all is I finally did go to college.
Look at that.
Got 4 degrees. Wow. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 2 of them are masters on the wall.
Yeah. He's smart. He's way smart.
Kind of smart. I wasted a lot of talent. Let me put that.
Right. But you got
But I'm starting to learn now that if I just get the fuck out of my own way.
Stop stopping yourself.
Yeah, if I just get the fuck out of my own way.
Yeah.
Start just an iota of belief in yourself. I can move mountains. You know
yes.
I mean, I'm not going to list the accolades now because that's not what I'm here about. But I just want to tell those who are listening, get out of your way.
Seriously.
When you do that, doors will open, yo. You'll see how much potential you truly have and how much you actually can do when you stop
stopping yourself.
Yeah, stop beating yourself, thinking you're the problem, thinking you're broken, thinking you're never gonna be good enough, thinking that you can't do something. That's not true. I've learned that's completely and utterly incorrect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, you know, the journey of recovery and the spiritual healing that comes with recovery really does help you get out of your own way, because it takes a lot of the things that you have kept inside, you know, and we're going to get into this as we go on further with this discussion, but, you know, like you hold on to all these things and you keep it all in the dark. But the thing about shame is like, it can't survive being seen and accepted. You know, like you said, you know, shame thrives in secrecy. And it really does. So it's like once you literally like get out of your own way and you have that open and honest conversation and you start to heal, that helps to reverse those feelings of like, I'm not worthy, I can't do this. Because once you start seeing these little accomplishments, and I feel like, you know, that's why getting the key tags in the meetings or getting the chips and like celebrating and recognizing your clean time, like
that's major.
For everybody out there, please, like, don't ever discount like your clean time. Like, celebrate that, because you know you got to look at it. You know, like, you got 40 days under your, or 30 days under your belt. Baby, 30 minutes used to be a dream. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And even when you first come into the rooms and like you go and you get that white key tag or that white chip, and it's like having that moment where you're like, all right, I'm gonna surrender. Like, I can't do this alone, so I'm gonna take this chance. Like, that's huge. Like, please don't ever think like that right there. That tells you that you can do something. So like the fact that you are willing to do whatever it takes to save your life, like, don't ever think that you can't do something again, because you took that first step, and that first step is so vital.
Yeah,
like, so vital.
Agreed.
Sorry, I got on a soapbox there for a second.
That's,
back to...
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So how does guilt or shame show up in recovery for you today, or in your recovery early on?
So I mean, early on it was.
You touched on it a little bit already.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, I didn't want to live in any of the, like, I didn't want to face it. I really didn't. There was a lot of things like, step 4 is,
my, well, I'm gonna tell you this before we jump on to step 4.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh my God.
It showed up. I used to be embarrassed because I smoked crack and people knew about it.
Yeah, because the whole stigma that comes with crack.
Correct.
You're like, oh my God,
you're an addict. Yeah. You're a crack addict. You had to go through all of this to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but what I learned is by getting out in front of it and owning, I deal with the disease of addiction.
Yeah. And I think like that's for me. So like coming from my background, you know, and even though like I had been, you know, I started smoking weed when I was 14, and then it just progressed off and on to different things all the way up until, you know, 7 months ago. It was like, on the outside looking in, you wouldn't think that I was an addict, you know, because like I had the job where I was making the 6 figures. Like it didn't look like it. So I guess like for me, early on in my recovery, like a lot of that, you know, like the guilt and the shame showed up because it was like, okay, I have to admit to these people, and it's not even like admitting to them personally, but I don't have any shame in my game, I guess, so to speak. So when I was just like, okay, yeah, like, so I'm going to a sober living and I'm going to get my shit together. Or when I got arrested and my mugshot was all over social media and they were like, whoa. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, like that was big, because a lot of people, they were just like, what? You know, they didn't think that, you know, little old me would be catching some big boy charges. And it's like, yeah, so about that.
I don't know what you mean by little. You're
well,
6'2". You're not little.
Well, I definitely didn't really look like a dang drug dealer, okay? but
so
yeah, that's guilt and shame early on in my recovery. I was like, ooh.
Shame early on can really be catastrophic.
Yeah.
In recovery.
Yeah, it can.
Especially if you're not working with a sponsor, working on some steps, because the role of the 12 steps.
They're so vital, people. Like I cannot express that enough. The steps are vital.
I'm about to embark on step 4.
Woo! Okay.
I haven't done it yet. I'm about to embark on step 4. I haven't done a real step 4.
Yeah, like I started it, and then like I got stagnant with my sponsor and everything, but I'm getting there, and so like I know step 4 is like, I'm kind of excited for you though.
So for those who are just tuning in or haven't done it, step 4 is the step where you face honesty.
Make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
Yeah, that means dig deep, tell the truth about yourself.
Yes.
At least to one other person.
Yep.
Probably your sponsor.
Yeah. Well, that's step 5.
Yeah. And then you know, let it out. Get all that fermented trash that has been building up for me the past 5 decades.
Yeah.
And dump it.
Yeah. And like step 4, it forces you to get specific. Like you can't be vague. You know, because like
No,
your shame is
dig.
going to thrive on that vagueness and that exaggeration of like, oh my gosh, I'm just a terrible person.
Don't do that. Don't let the cat out the bag.
Exactly.
He doesn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Keep that to yourself.
Yeah. No. See, that's that shame and that soundtrack talking to you. But step forward, like you have to write down what actually happened. What were your patterns? You know, stuff.
You'll learn all of that.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. And like in doing that, step 4, it reveals not only the harm that you caused, but like all this pain that you carried. And, you know, it helps you shift from like feeling like, oh, I'm just a broken person to saying, hey, like I have patterns and things that I've created throughout my whole life, but now I can understand these and I can start to change and heal from them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the beauty.
Christy knows what she's talking about a little bit.
I'm learning.
So wait, we got step 4 is facing honesty. Step 5 is basically sharing it to someone.
Admitted to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And it's breaking that silence. And
then step 8 and 9 is this is where you start to make the amends.
Yes.
Where the guilt starts to heal.
And I think like you have to, that's part of the reason. So like, obviously we know step 1, 2, and 3 are very important. Like step 1 especially, that's vital to, you know, that's like 40% of your recovery is step 1. But step 4 and 5, I feel like you cannot take those lightly at all because, like you just said, they set you up for 8 and 9. And also, if you think about it too, step 4 and 5, especially step 4, it sets you up for step 6, which is, you know, listing your character defects. And it's, again, that helps with, you know, the shame and releasing it because you have to admit it first. And the biggest person you have to admit it to is yourself. You have to be like, yo, like, I know I'm not perfect, but that's okay. Because I admit that I'm not perfect. I'm recognizing what these defects are, and I'm working on removing them, growing from them, and healing from them.
Well, the crazy part is, you do this, you're basically snatching the Band-Aid off quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't get honest with yourself, if you don't open up that wound and really feel it, and there's no way to really heal it, you have to be absolutely wholeheartedly honest.
Yeah, and it's, you have to be vulnerable within yourself too.
Yes. I mean, because if you're not telling the truth, you're lying to yourself. You're not healing. You're not you're not going to forgive yourself. And you're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
You're just going to end up staying stagnant. You're gonna say to yourself, this is where you rationalize and justify some of the shit you did that you can admit to, because you don't want to be humiliated or embarrassed.
Right.
So you only give a little portion, or you don't give all the details. Or, all right, well, let me just say what happened in 88
let me sugarcoat
and 89, and then leave the rest out.
Right, but I mean, that's part of like what step 5 really, so it gets you... It removes that isolation. It creates that accountability. And honestly, like, it brings in acceptance in that moment when you expected rejection. You know, because like when you're doing step 4, sometimes you have like this, oh my God, if somebody really knew everything about me, like they'd reject me.
You can't heal what you don't reveal.
Exactly. And once you speak this out and you realize like, hey, I'm not alone. Like, you're heard, you're not abandoned, and you're still accepted, because that's the beautiful thing about when you're in recovery, is you're in recovery, especially if you're in the program and you're in the steps and, you know, you're in the rooms, you're with a bunch of people who aren't going to judge you, because we've been there, we've done that. Some of us have done it worse, some of us have done it differently, but at the end of the day, we're all here for a reason, you know?
Yeah. Some still judge, though.
Well,
some do.
They got to deal with their higher power on that.
They're not working.
They're not working
the proper steps.
They're not working steps. Seven, humbly asking him to.
Everyone's not perfect in the rooms. Don't
right.
get me wrong.
Right.
There are people who will judge, but we don't care about that.
No, we don't.
Because we still got to reveal to heal.
Exactly.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna put that on something.
Reveal to heal. We should make a T-shirt for that.
Yeah. If you can't heal if you do not reveal.
I like that.
All right. So what's the difference between letting go versus holding on?
Letting go versus holding on. So letting go is you're opening, so releasing your shame. It takes you from self-condemnation to self-compassion.
Okay.
You know, you can see your actions honestly and your motivations and your wounds, and you're opening up that door, you know, like letting go, you're opening up that door to have compassion for yourself and understanding instead of just judgment. And I feel like when you hold on to it, that's what you're doing. You're judging yourself. Like you're holding on to like that soundtrack. You're holding on to that shame.
I was gonna say letting go or holding on to guilt, like a part of it. You know
yeah.
We was touching on it. I think if you don't reveal it and you don't never heal from it, that your mind, it's gonna be in the back of your mind.
Right, which creates that shame. It's like a guilt shame cycle. They coincide
Correct.
so much.
It's equivalent to putting yourself on punishment.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over. So for me, it's a process. Reveal, heal, and then you can deal.
Yeah, reveal, heal, and deal. Yeah, because I mean, you can't deal with it if you don't reveal it.
Yeah. So and you can't heal from it if you don't reveal it. So
yeah.
Reveal is the most important aspect.
Yes.
Then you heal from it, and then you can deal with it.
Yeah.
And you can stop. You can take accountability and stop placing blame on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that means that you're learning.
Yes.
You're making it right.
Yes.
And then you can move forward.
Progress.
There you go. Progression is a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
So, again, what I just said: learn, then make it right, and then move forward.
That's right.
It's the same with the hear, reveal, and then deal.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll right now.
You are, man.
I'm on a roll
start
right
writing
now.
this down so we can start making all
So, what actually helped you to start letting go?
Step 3.
Step 3. What is step 3?
Step 3 is. Oh my gosh, why am I having such a brain fart right now?
Did I put you on the spot?
No, I literally, you didn't put me.
I'm gonna let you. You can Google it if you like.
I don't need to Google it. I just need to, like, what just happened here?
I'll give you a help. Insanity?
No. Step 3 is turning our will and our lives over to the God as we understand Him, believing that He can restore us to sanity.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why did I just brain fart that?
Because
Like
whenever someone says, "What's step 3?"
I swear,
It's back to dial-up modem.
Yeah, you've got mail. I just reverted to the 90s for real. That was awkward. But no. But yeah, that's really like, that's what helped me start letting go of that guilt and start helping me, process my shame was like, believing in my higher power. For me, my higher power is God and Jesus, and to know that He loves me no matter what, no matter what I've done. Like, He loves me. He knew what I was going to do. Like, it says, like, He knew me from when I was in my mother's womb, and so for me, that right there, like, that has been instrumental.
I'm kind of
I see that. You're just cracking it.
I got to crack
Getting
my
old
back.
over here.
I am old.
Right. But
I think it's this couch. I got to get chairs. I think I'm going to go to chairs.
Well, that and you put your, like, 2 pillows on you so you can get on my level, too.
Yeah, if not, I'll be a midget next to you. It's crazy. I'm 6 foot and I feel small.
But yeah, so like that was for me, and I mean, one thing I want to say, like, I love how you and I kind of have like this balance in this, like our dynamic together, because, you're very spiritual and I'm very, like, I'm Jesus, God, my higher power. And I love how we have that balance, so we can speak to both aspects of that in recovery. So like
Absolutely.
For me, that's how I let go, as I let go, let God. So how did you start to let go?
So for me, letting go was coming to terms with, what I did and who I was. Not letting my past define who I am today.
Yeah, that's key. Yeah, for sure.
That was the first. That was the first real step for me. Then I had to admit that I was powerless and my life had become unmanageable, for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember the old guy that pissed me off at the meeting, and I wanted to beat the shit out of him.
I heard about it.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was the day I found my sponsor.
Your sponsor, yeah.
And my universe put him right on time. Like, I could have easily just went home and said, "Fuck that meeting."
Right.
But I stayed in the parking lot and I
the meeting after the meeting.
And I talked to myself and I said, "Man, what you did was insane. You know what I'm saying? You just basically threatened the whole fucking meeting.
Right.
Anybody can get it. And I wanted to go and apologize to the meeting like afterwards. So I went in there and I started talking and I said, hey, you know, I usually don't like to come out of character like that, but when I get rubbed the wrong way, I'm in the process of recovery. I'm not recovered.
Yeah.
So understand that you can't just say any kind of shit sideways and think people are going to understand what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And that's when my sponsor pulled me over. So for me at that moment, it was time for me to start letting go of my past. I don't have to smack every single person that rubs me the wrong way.
That's very true.
I don't have to always be right.
You found some humility that day, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm proud of you.
And and I was able to. I can actually listen.
Yeah.
And that was my higher power, the universe telling me, hey, take a seat, relax a second.
Sit down.
Pay attention to what they're saying. And then move forward.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I put the past behind me.
Yeah.
I made my amends to that person.
Yeah.
And I moved forward.
Yeah. You were step 10 in it that day.
That day, I mean, there's days I revert back,
right?
Where I'm back to one because I'm powerless and my life is unmanageable. 2, I need somebody to help me get this insanity off my back. So it's like, you know, that's the beauty of the steps. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be perfect every single day. You're gonna take your will back sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we have free will. That's kind of
but you know. I'm trying to do that lesser.
Yeah.
Like less now and lesser. I don't know what the hell that was.
You're making up words now.
Yeah, I did. It's a
lesser.
It's a lesser. That's crazy. I'm trying to be more tuned in to my thoughts.
Yeah.
And then make my decisions based on a well thought process, opposed to just an emotional process.
So you're really working on that self-awareness.
Correct.
And that's awesome. Like, I'm super proud of you for that because I mean it's huge. Like, self-awareness. Yeah. Again, progress, not perfection. Like, I will keep saying that over and over.
Because I can go 0 to 100.
Yeah, but now you've learned how to kind of, you know, you've learned how to pump the brakes.
I pump the brakes a little bit. Sometimes there's no brake fluid though. I'm going through the stop sign. I'm human,
right?
But I'm aware of that.
Yes,
and it happens less.
And having that awareness allows you to work on it.
That's right.
Like you just said, it happens less because you are aware of it.
Not lesser.
Lesser. There's a lesser to learn in that.
And so what the key thing is rewriting your identity.
Yes.
Like the past. I noticed that some people in my past are always gonna.
They're always gonna
see me as the crackhead.
Yeah,
they're gonna see me as the crackhead.
Yeah.
No matter what I do or say, no matter what I achieve, no matter what I've accomplished. I mean, I can just to name a few. I graduated high school.
Yeah.
I graduated college.
Yeah.
I wrote a book.
Yes, he did.
I stayed clean for 38 years.
Yes.
Okay. Like, I go to conventions. I speak at meetings. I talk at prisons.
You raised some pretty awesome kids.
Thank you. I got great kids.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. All of that gets negated for some people. They're just like, you're a crackhead from 88.
But you know what? Let me tell you something right now. Like I want to tell you, that's on them.
Oh, 100%.
That's not on you, boo. That is on them. That is on their inability to see past, honestly, their own bullshit. That is on them, their inability to not see your progress and your growth because they want to be stuck in the past and they want to be stuck in all that. Like,
that's why I was saying, I'm not my past.
Nope.
Regardless if those naysayers or haters want to still live in 88, stay in 88.
That's right.
I'm over here in 2026.
That's right.
Making moves.
Yep. Haters are your motivators.
Building self-worth through action. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm changing who I am for the rest of the world.
Exactly.
If you can't catch up with us,
that's on you,
bye.
Yeah.
Take care. Matter of fact, I don't even want to fuck with you no more.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm done with you. I've made my amends. I'm not gonna keep living in that year because you are.
Exactly.
I'm done. I'm moved on. That's you.
Yep.
And the moment you do that, you allow them to bring you back to that time.
Yeah. And that's why you have
and you acknowledge it in your head that,
Yep.
oh, I am still that.
But you're not.
That's why you can't go back.
No, you can't. And you know, like bottom line, you know, like it doesn't, your past is never going to be erased. You know, but processing the guilt and processing the shame, it's not going to erase the past, but it reframes it. You know, it's not something that defines you. It takes it from something that defines you and it turns it into something that you faced, you shared, and you can move beyond. Like you said, you're not going to live in the past. You're going to move forward, even if others don't want to. You know,
it's crazy that I still hear, oh, but you're a crackhead. It's 2026. It's 2026. I have been cleaner. Like, I'll give you an example. None of my children, I have 3 kids. None of them ever see me use.
Exactly.
At all.
Yeah.
And the people that are saying these negative things, their children have seen them use.
Oh.
Time and time again.
So basically what they're doing is they're taking their own shortcomings and they're trying to project it onto you because they don't want
So you got to be careful because projection from others
that just made me so
can and if you're not working on improving the quality of your life, you're not working on you, you're not working on changing your identity,
they can drag you back down.
You will drag you back down.
Oh,
you will drag you back down because you'll let them thoughts in.
Exactly.
And that's when the disease of addiction got him.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yeah, come back.
He's right. I ain't shit. I ain't nothing but a crackhead.
Yeah.
I did that. I robbed mom. You know what I'm saying? I robbed every female that I ever knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I knew I set up drug dealers. I robbed strangers. I broke into buildings and robbed gas stations. Like,
our disease is so cunning.
So when you allow that to happen, that's why I always keep in my toolbox everything that I've done.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
You're right. I was a crackhead.
But I'm not no more.
Guess what I accomplished?
Yeah.
Not using.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I've done that for 38 consecutive years, every single day.
Yep.
I don't know how many days that is, but it's thousands.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of days.
And so I said, you're right. I wasn't right. Oh, you used to steal everything. You're right. But guess what? I'm going on 2 years not stealing.
Hey.
April 29th.
Hey.
That's like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
And and I go get a tag for that.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I get up and watch and on the 29th when they give out the black tag, let me get that.
Yeah.
Multiple years of not stealing.
I'm gonna applaud that.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
I don't give a fuck if nobody does or not.
No, but I got you though.
I know you do. I know you do. But I'm just saying, some people might be like, what the fuck you doing that for? Because
it's an accomplishment.
No, that's my disease.
Yeah.
Pivoting. So I've conquered my disease in that. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand all these little things.
Pivoting. Man.
Pivoting is
but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We've already talked. Yeah.
So
I love this.
Recovery isn't about being perfect.
No, it's not.
It's about being honest.
Yes. Rigorous honesty.
If you can be honest.
Like that's like on all things, rigorous honesty.
Honesty, open-minded,
and willingness. Yeah.
If you could be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, and they say, you know, like in the big book, because I've been on both sides of, you know, like the program, I've been in AA and NA, but like in AA, it tells you flat out, half measures avail us nothing.
Say that again?
Half measures avail us nothing. So basically, you can't half-ass this.
No.
If you half-ass it, you're gonna get a half-ass recovery.
If you throw in 50%, you're gonna get 50%.
Exactly. So what you put into your recovery is what you're gonna get out of it.
And what doesn't make any sense, you was the master at getting high.
Exactly.
Why can't you be the master in recovery?
Exactly. The amount of time
you owe it to yourself
and craziness that you invented in figuring out how you was gonna get, you know, like your dope or how you were gonna,
I came up with to do.
Yeah.
To get high.
Yeah. Take that energy and invest it in like
apply it in something else.
Yeah, like are you willing to do whatever it takes to save your life?
Because you were willing to do whatever it took to
get
kill
high.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
like for real.
You can walk 1,000,000 steps to get high, but you can't walk 12 steps to save your life.
Oh, I like that.
It's crazy.
I like that. We need to use that one again.
And people feel like getting clean is for suckers.
No.
You can say what you want to say. I'm not a sucker.
Let me tell you something, because you know what? Exactly. I'm clean, I'm serene, I'm happy, and I'm free.
Damn right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get to watch my kids grow up.
Yeah.
I'm going fishing when I feel like it, golfing when I feel like it. I'm making money. And
you ain't got to be
good.
watching over your shoulder. You ain't got to worry about the law catching up to you. You ain't got to worry. Like, when you get in the car, tell me, okay, this is so crazy. But, like, tell me how good this feels when you get in the car and you don't have to worry about, like, oh, my God, I ran the stop sign and now I got blue lights behind me and I'm finna go down for some big old bullshit.
No, I'm not going to lie. I still have a fear of cops.
But you don't have to worry, like, okay, so, like, you don't have to worry about the fact that, like, they're not going to catch you with a bunch of bullshit.
Let me give you a better analogy. My license is valid today.
That part, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because right. When I was getting high, I didn't even have a license.
Right.
All right? I got money in my account today.
Yeah.
When I was getting high, there was no such thing.
Yeah.
In fact, whoever was close to me didn't have money either because I was taking it.
That part.
So it's these changes they happen over time.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen overnight. It happens over time.
But if you put the work in, if you get in the rooms, get in the literature, get the sponsor, work the steps, if you put the work in, it will work.
Page 79 in the basic text.
Yeah.
We have never seen a person relapse if he's living the NA program.
Yes.
Living. That means working the steps.
Yeah.
Working with a sponsor.
Yep.
Doing service work.
Yes.
Being accountable.
Yes.
Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness.
Placing principles before personalities.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do all of these things.
Yeah.
If you're not putting in the work, don't expect the results.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the work is the main ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
If you took yeast out of your recipe to make bread,
you're not gonna have bread.
Bitch, what do you got?
You got a flat thing.
Yeah, you got nothing. So if you take putting in the work out of recovery,
yeah,
you back at square one.
Exactly.
You just living.
Yeah.
You're living crazy.
Yeah, I feel like
crazy.
it's, and I would love if somebody, like, I really would. I was having this conversation earlier today. It's you can have, and you and I, we had talked about this the other day. Clean time is being in recovery. I will never say that, but I feel like if you only have clean time and you're not working the program, it's inevitable that there's going to be a relapse of some sort. Mm-hmm. Like, you may not go back to your DOC, you may not go back to your drugs, but you're going to relapse. Yeah, you're going to relapse in your behaviors, you're going to relapse in your mindset,
character defects,
and your character defects,
or
and
your
toxic
drug of
relationships.
choice.
Yeah, like, if you're not healing, you're going to relapse.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And the practical ways to release shame and guilt is, one, talk about it.
What we're doing.
We could do that every day.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yes. Journaling is crazy. Like, I never thought journaling
just study guide.
Yeah.
Answer the questions in the study guide.
Yeah.
And start doing real work in the steps. Mm-hmm. Making amends where possible.
Yes, where possible. Like, it says...
You know who you fucked over.
Yep.
Fix that.
And when you're making those amends, don't... Sometimes, you feel like if you're going to go make these amends, that, like, everything's just going to be perfect after that. So you can't go into that with that mindset. You're going in there not to make yourself feel better. Like, in a way you are, but at the same time, you're going in there to apologize, to own up for what you've done, and to let that person know, like, hey, I'm really sorry that my actions and my choices affected you in this way. And, be very careful, because whether or not they accept it, that is on them. But you have to know, like, internally within yourself, like, you made
You're freeing yourself by doing that.
Yeah.
And if they don't accept it, that's on them.
Exactly.
They don't have to either.
No, they don't.
They don't owe you shit.
No.
You're just doing it to free up yourself.
Yes, to release it.
And then show yourself some compassion.
Absolutely.
Love on you for a little bit.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
So this is to everyone who's listening out there, or anybody who's in earshot.
Yeah.
You're not alone in what you've done or felt.
No, I promise you, we've all been there, done that.
Your past doesn't disqualify you.
No, it doesn't.
It qualifies you to grow.
Yes. Absolutely. There are things that we have been through in our lives that make us so qualified for things that other... You want me to slouch? No.
I was just like this. I was like, oh my God, I can't even see my face.
Like, there's things in our lives that we've gone through that give us that experience and that knowledge that actually they qualify us in ways that other people aren't qualified. So, it's like, turn your pain into your purpose, boo-boo. Like, let your pain be your motivation for growth and use your pain to help others.
And remember, freedom is possible,
Yeah.
but shame and guilt gotta be let go.
Embrace your inner Elsa. Let it go.
Let it go.
I had to.
Frozen. I got it now. I'm slow as hell. Today I'm slow.
Embrace your inner Elsa, babies.
Close us out. Close us out. I think we touched on shame and guilt and what to do. So close us out.
All right. So if you're carrying guilt or shame right now, hear this. You know, you don't have to carry it forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've made our mistakes. Yes, we've hurt people. And yes, we have to take responsibility for that. You know, but beating yourself up for the rest of your life, honey, that's not recovery. That's punishment. You know, recovery is about ownership and then transformation. And, you know, there's this turning point where you can go from living in shame to living in recovery. So it's about learning from your past without living in it. It's about making things right where we can and making peace with what we can't. But most importantly, it's about understanding that who you are today is not who you were back then. You know, guilt can teach you.
For sure.
Shame is going to try and bury you in it. So let it go, speak it out, and work through it.
There you go. I don't know what the hell that was. You threw me off. I was about to shake your hand.
Take it away. You know, because on the other side of guilt and shame is what?
On the other side of guilt and shame is recovery.
Freedom!
And recovery. Yes. Freedom and recovery.
Freedom. Yeah.
So, my name is Nico.
And I'm Christy.
And this is Unbroken Stories, the journey to recovery. We want to remind you guys to stay unbroken.
And we love you.
Much love.